Hello, and welcome to another in the Sacred Calendar series being produced by the Department of Theology and Religious Studies here in the University of Nottingham. The 15th of August is not a day that is known to many people as a feast day, but to many Christians it is a feast day of Mary. In the West, it's called the Feast Day of the Assumption, but the feast originates with the Eastern churches, where it is called the Feast of the Dormition of Mary. So with me to discuss this Feast Day of Mary, the 15th of August, I have an expert on Orthodox theology, Dr. Mary Cunningham. And Mary, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
And we would like you to tell us something about this feast of the 15th of August, what we in the West call the Assumption, but in the East is called the Dormition. And maybe you would talk us through the famous icon.
Right. Well, this is a beautiful icon of the event that is celebrated in this feast, which is literally the falling asleep of the Virgin Mary, or the Mother of God. Chemesis in Greek means falling asleep, which is actually a euphemism for dying. She is believed in the Orthodox Church actually to have died. Narratives concerning her death don't appear very early in the Church. The earliest ones which were written, there are a number of different versions written in Syriac and Greek, began to circulate in the East in the 5th and 6th centuries. But they tell a story of how she knew that she was about to die, and the apostles, the 12 disciples, were taken from the various far-flung places where they were carrying out their missions, lifted up on a cloud and brought to Jerusalem, where she was staying in the house of St. John, the beloved disciple, to whom Christ had entrusted her. And this icon shows her lying on her deathbed, surrounded by the disciples. And at the moment of her dying, Christ himself appeared, and you can see him just above the bier or the bed, in a mandorla, a circle of light with a halo. And he's actually receiving the soul of Mary, which is departed from her body. And the soul of a human being is always depicted in Orthodox iconography as a tiny baby wrapped in swaddling clothes. So it appears there as a little baby, and he is handing it over to the care of an angel to be taken away. Around the bed, as I said, are all the disciples hovering over her in a prayerful attitude, and there are angels behind with cherubim and seraphim above.
And in the West, we look on the Assumption and say that that Mary's Assumption is not, it's unique in its manner to her, but it's actually an anticipation of the rising of all Christians. There's a lovely ancient phrase in the Latin liturgy, "Where you have gone, we hope to follow."
Yes, this is right.
Does the Greek liturgy use something similar?
I believe so, and it reflects a belief which is not actually depicted in the icon, but the narratives that began to circulate that I was describing earlier go on to say that she was then taken and laid in a tomb in Gethsemane, and after 3 days the disciples came and opened the tomb, and the body was no longer there. And it was believed that she had been assumed into heaven, and there, although the Greek sources are actually not very explicit about that, but the belief is that the body was rejoined with the soul. So in fact, uniquely among all human beings, she has been resurrected ahead of the day of judgment, like Christ, and is in heaven.
And of course, if you go to the Garden of Gethsemane today, this is on the Orthodox pilgrimage route around Gethsemane. This is an essential
Yes.
stopping point.
Yes.
And then some of the Latins go there, but when I was there, it's this the emptiness of the tomb is seen as the foretaste of all the empty tombs.
Yes, yes. And that's because Mary, I think, really one of the most preeminently important things about her is that she represents humanity, and that we know that we can follow her, or that she is symbolizing what will happen to other human beings.
When I was a boy, 15th of August fell towards the end of the summer holidays. So whenever I hear the 15th of August, my first thought is actually not religious, but the summer holidays are coming to an end. But it's at a more serious, to finish on a serious point, it shows how a feast and a day can actually unite two churches, even though the way they will think about Mary and even the very name they will give to that feast is different.
Yes, that's true.
Mary, thank you for coming along today and talking to us about this Feast of Mary in the Christian sacred calendar. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.